Hello everyone, Kaoz here, and welcome to another old school RuneScape video. And first of all, thank you so much for all of your recent support in the previous two Rambly videos. It seems like you guys enjoy them a whole ton, but not only that, because of those videos, I got two very important comments and I got the inspiration to talk about two important things, one of which is going to be power creep, and that is what we are going to talk about today in this nice Rambly video. And since we are going to talk about power creep, which is basically armor and weapons, which I'm going to be more specifically doing on weapons, I thought why not kill some monsters today as we try out some disgusting hits with a T-bow on brutal black dragons. So let's begin. So basically, what is a problem with power creep in old school RuneScape? First of all, what is power creep? I looked it up, I basically know what it is, but in order to give you a more educated, definition, the term power creep is basically the situation. Let me just go ahead and auto-retaliate, and there we go. Power creep is a situation where updates to a game introduce more powerful units or abilities, leaving the older ones unpowered. So basically, what power creep means in old school RuneScape is the introduction of new items, and that introduction is going to make other items either obsolete, irrelevant, or weak, whatever name you want for, the underwhelming situation in which those those old weapons are going to be faced, or I guess situated in. That is a problem that we currently have with the weapon system and the weapon tiers in old school RuneScape. So first of all, I want to talk about why it is a problem first of all. I think that when it boils down to the very basic understanding of the word, I think a lot of people, instead of feeling excited about new content, new weapons, new armor that they can try out in the game, instead of being happy about it, it suddenly becomes this, oh, my weapons are going to be underpowered, I'm going to lose so much money, my twisted bow is not going to be worth anything, my bandos is going to be devalued, my rapier, my blade, my mace, everything so far that we have seen of, I guess we haven't really had many proposals of Jagex giving, a lot of, offensive items, but whenever we come to that option, it seems like there is a lot of backlash for it because a lot of players are against it simply because they feel like their items are going to lose value, and obviously we will have to grind for those new items, whether it be doing the new content or grinding more money in order to be able to buy those in the future. So today I want to answer the simple question, how do you think is what do you think is the best idea to introduce new and even more powerful weapons to old school RuneScape? I have three options to fix this, but before I am going to tell you a little bit about the problem that we currently have with the tiers. If you don't know about the previous proposals that Jagex has done, basically there is a weapon or gear rebalancing proposal in which there was a ton of backlash because Jagex was like, okay, we're gonna nerf the blowpipe, we're gonna nerf a black dragon hide, and it's basically those nerfs on the items that have been in the game for so long that I understand players are angry about it, because it's not really the proposal that's bad, but rather it's the amount of time that Jagex had to wait in order to do them, right? So if you release the blowpipe, I guess it would be a decent idea if you want to either nerf it or include more weapons in the game, that you say, okay guys, the blowpipe is going to be nerfed because we have some changes proposed and whatever, but do it maybe 1 or even at most 2 years after the release. If the blowpipe has been out for so long, like maybe 6 or 7 years, because Sulro was the first boss I believe in the game, if it's out for so long, a lot of players are going to be like, okay, why nerf it today, right? So when it comes to other weapons, we have melee, magic, and ranged. Right now it seems like level 75 is the cap for the weapons, and honestly it seems really low. If you get a brand new account, level 75 for a combat level, it doesn't really take that long to acquire. And honestly, it seems like most of the current best in slot items are found here. We have the Rapier, which is level 75 attack, the Blade of Salidor, the Inquisitor, and the Scythe of Vitur. However, the thing that's more important about these items is that the places in which you can use them and the style or the combat style makes them more unique in a way that it gives you more options to have maybe other training methods or weapons in order to kill a monster in the most efficient way possible. What do I mean by this? The rapier is used for creatures that are weak to stab, the Blade of Salador weak to slash, the Inquisitor Mace weak to crush, and the Scythe, because of the special attack, I guess, is the more powerful weapon out of all of them, but obviously it is the most expensive to use. So all of those are found in the level 75 category, and the proposal was to put the Rapier, the Blade, and the Inquisitor Mace to level 80, and then the Scythe of Betur to level 85 attack and strength. We also have the Abyssal Tentacle, the Arclight, the Elder Maul, God Swords, and the Saradomin Blessed Sword, all in the level 75 category, and honestly, it seems a bit weird to have level 75 as the end game for combat. And the same goes for magic and range. So for example, for magic you have a tier 75, which is a trident, the Trident of the Swamp, the Sanguinesti Staff, and the Nightmare Staff. I guess also the toxic, what do you call it? The toxic, what is this? The undead. You know, I have never really used that item, so I may seem like really noobish, kind of not understanding or remembering what it is. But you have the toxic staff and whatever. So all of those are level 75, and you also have the range 75 level 75 weapons, which are the toxic blowpipe, the heavy ballista, and the twisted bow. And you also have the armadillo crossbow at level 70, which is kind of weird. Okay. But the problem with all of these items is that they all have their niche uses, and I'm not going to sit here explaining, okay, so you should be using this weapon in this instance or in this scenario, because honestly I think whenever you get to those weapons, it's pretty common knowledge on where you need to use them and how to exploit them to the best of your abilities. But what happens when Jagex offers a new either best in slot or new content? That is when the problem arises, because there is honestly no way to put this new item, let's say a weapon, in the same category without causing trouble. So let's say you have a new best in slot item for melee that is, let's say for the crush attack style. Well, that will inherently and automatically make the Inquisitor's Mace either obsolete, irrelevant, or even weaker in order for you to pump out as much DPS as you want. And I can completely understand a lot of people thinking that that is going to devalue the Inquisitor Mace at some point, because obviously, if you introduce something more powerful, a lot more people are going to sell their Inquisitor Mace, try to get the new item, and it just basically rinse and repeat. And I am not going to mention that for every single weapon, because that's basically what it is. So what happened with the previous rebalancing proposal is that for all of the weapons that we have, the Rapier, the Blade, and the Mace, those were supposed to go to level 80 and then have the... no, I think I already, said this, but with all of this, it kind of gives you kind of an idea of like, okay, why would Jagex do this if it's not to introduce more content? And I guess that right away, that is going to be declined by most of the community, because whatever item you have is most likely going to be affected by power creep, and honestly, that's just kind of a huge problem when it comes to the weapons, especially in old school RuneScape. So I think I've I guess rambled for too long, but from the comments, I guess you guys enjoy it. But if you haven't, make sure to leave me a comment saying, this one was boring, and then I can improve in the future. But now, for the time you have been waiting for, my question is, and by the way, okay, a bit of lag. My question is, how do we fix power creep in old school RuneScape? I have 3 options, and none of which are educated or, I guess, kind of great solutions by any stretch of the imagination, but these are just things that we are eventually going to have a discussion as a community in order to introduce more content, because honestly the game has been out for 8 years, and I think it's about time we get some brand new spanking weapons and armor. But you know, that's just my opinion. So how do we fix this? Number one, we have to introduce more combat mechanics that offer different options for more weapons, and that way it may seem like even if you introduce a tier 90 weapon, in some cases it is going to be better to stick to either your sanguinesty staff, your scythe of Vitur, your blade, your rapier, and so on. So I don't really know what type of mechanics that could be, I guess, the best, and honestly I think it should be a great community by both the, or I guess a great effort by both the community and Jagex in order to come to an agreement as to why what this change should be. The second proposed change, which is my personal opinion, and it's by no means educated, is that we need to create weaknesses for weapons. Now, I understand that we already have weaknesses for the monsters, but we need to make it much more impactful the way RuneScape 3 does it. And, you know, again, yes, RuneScape 3, whatever. But honestly, I think Jagex needs to put more effort as to give you a better incentive for you to use a certain weapon in certain situations, right? You are obviously going to use the best in slot that you can. If you can afford a Scythe of Vitur, that is always going to be the best option for you to train either Combat or Slayer. So I guess giving you a better niche use for a different weapon to be introduced in the future, that could be a very good idea in order to, I guess, give all of the weapons the value that they have right now in order not to use that importance in the future if you are increasing, or I guess introducing a new weapon. And the last one, which is honestly the one that we have to go for at this point if we want the Jagex to do anything about it, is that they need to pass content without pulling it. And honestly, I am a person who wouldn't be opposed to this, because it's like, you know, I think Jagex has a great idea as to what they want to do with the game, and you know, even though maybe it's not going to be the best decision, the communication that they have with the players, it's like, okay, so we have this proposal, but then you guys can give us an idea of what could be changed, what could be tuned, and then we can come to an agreement to have a new best-in-slot armor and weapon in order not to harm the current ones that we currently have. So I guess option number 3, it would be, bye-bye, we are just introducing this, but just give us an idea as to what you would want. It would be the best option, and the only way that new content like armor and weapons are ever going to be introduced in RuneScape. But you guys are free to leave me a comment if you agree or disagree with my with my uneducated opinion. But who am I? I'm just someone who, you know, is killing brutal black dragons, and I am in no way a high tier or I guess high level PVMer, and I guess that is what I also aim to do with these videos. I just want to get your guys' feedback and also keep leaving your wonderful comments in order for me to, you know, reply to you, agree, disagree. You're welcome to do any of them. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. The next one is going to be talking about the completionist cape in old school RuneScape that could potentially be coming out, you know, later, or, you know, that we could even see proposed. So if you have any other ideas for topics, make sure to let me know. But so far, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like I said before, give me a comment below, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great day, and take care.